poem called Portraits of Hope, some of you may be familiar with. As a youth pastor on the west end of Rock Island, I hear cries, often cleverly disguised with smiles. So I had to learn how to read all over again. But this time, I had to learn how to read in between their smiles and offer youth a hope that only Jesus Christ can provide. These stories, they're hard to hear, they're hard to see, and they often bring me down to my knees, and they're stories like these of violence. A young man walks into the youth center and says, "Chris, I'm having trouble sleeping. At night, I try to close my eyelids, but I'm hit with vivid images depicting that night when shots rang. Friend of mine lying on his back. We were just at a house party on the dance floor, partying with every step, wondering what song the DJ would play next, but it was a gun that sung the song of death. The bullet whistled like missile and tore through his flesh. Chris, how can I concentrate on homework and tests if I'm wondering if I'm..." Next, Shay comes into the youth center after school with a smile, a pen, and a notebook, and says, "Chris, I'm about to write my boyfriend a letter." I says, "So?" "He's in jail." "Whoa." "Oh, I remember. He used to come here and play ball. He had a bad temper. Can I ask you a question? Did he ever hit you?" "Chris, that boy don't be hitting on me." "Good. He just used to put his hands around my neck and choke me sometimes," she says with a smile. And all the while my heart hurt for this beautiful young woman created in the image of God that would be burdened with bruises, and in mornings she's blushed to try to remove them because her heart is in tune with rejection. And she lives with no recollection of a father ever brushing her with a touch of fatherly affection. So she's learned to accept this. Abuse, abandonment, rage, suicidal thoughts. That night, I got off work and walked into my daughter's room and knelt beside her bed. There was a weight on my back that only my God had the power to powerless. And He did. He did by showing me them. Them, my wife, my kids, my mentors, my memories of when I was a teen. I had both parents that did everything that they could, but it still didn't stop me from wanting to be a boy in the hood. My American idols were gangster disciples and bicycles were their rivals. Deep down inside, I didn't want to be a boy from the hood. I was a scared boy trying to understand manhood. God sent me angels. Names were Mark Drake, Raphael Wilson, Dave Bennett. And when I went to college, Professor Bud and Keith Crispin. Without them, I wouldn't know my wife and my children. When I cried, they answered my calls. And instead of rejecting me, they offered me heaven and invested in me. So I can go back to my community and offer a hope that I know, a hope that I can show and tell the kids it doesn't matter what cards you've been dealt. With Christ, you can have the victory. You don't have to play the victim. They say that pictures are worth 1,000 words. And I keep hoping the thousands that I've chosen won't just show you pictures and frames that are often shattered and broken. Let's face it, without brokenness, none of us could be made whole. Our God, our Creator, longs to use us as His paintbrushes to paint others into portraits of hope.